Welcome to Beach. This is new Pokemon Snap. This is going to be the speedrun guide for what is one of the more complicated levels that we have to deal with. There's a lot of Pokemon that like to roam about. There's a lot of options for routing, so let's get into it. First things first, there's going to be an Executor off to the left side. It's one of the two options that we have. If you want to come back and look up towards the Wingull, I use the sun as a visual marker to know where I want to take the picture for the Wingull. The second option here for Executors is going to be a more traditional one, where we roam this guy to be closer to the cart and facing us. If you throw multiple apples, he will go to the later apple typically, and this can mess up your plan, so be careful. I suggest trying to do it with one apple, or if you do throw apples, throwing them closer as you move forward. This is one of our options for Pikachu. We do have two of them. There's going to be one later in the level that's worth more points, but this one is quick and painless. For this Executor, you either want to throw the apple early or late, just because those are the two times that the cart naturally lines up with the Executor. Next Pokemon here is fairly new to the route and is not worth very many points. You're basically doing it because it's quicker and facing forward. It's 3 Finneon that come where I'm aiming, and then you want to go up and get the Vivillion. The Vivillion is obviously a repeat, as are the Finneons. We will have a later option for Finneon that will be worth more points, but is at the same time that we want to be dealing with the Octillery, so it's a bit more difficult. For turning here, I wait till the Wingull is off the screen, the first Wingull I should say, and then I look for the scan. If you do it early, you won't have the opportunity, and you'll get stun locked for about 2 seconds. For this Machamp, if it's facing you, you do want to stun it by using the scan feature. It does take a bit of a cooldown before you're allowed to scan it again, but when you do, you want to take it when it's flexing. For this Octillery, there's a pink flower here that we're going to pass, and when we pass the pink flower right about now, here, or when I want to throw my apples, if you throw 4 apples, it works well for the timing, and make sure you hit the Stunfisk to know when to turn for this Finneon. This Finneon's worth more points than the 3 Finneon that we took earlier. Then you get this fantastic Octillery. You don't necessarily have to stun the Octillery, but it's worth more points if you do. So we'll talk about that here during the scoring. For Pikachu, you want to lure it towards this shovel that's on the right side of the screen, but Pikachu is incredibly finicky. As long as you're able to get it close by, you're still going to get lots of points. I could take the picture here while it's eating, but I decided to bonk it. Make sure it's like facing towards the camera. I'm not sure which is worth more points. Our last Pokemon here is going to be the Stunfisk. You can take it early while it's more facing the camera, or you can wait a bit till you're closer and take it on the second jump. I'm going to show you how to do both. If you're short at this point, depending on what your routing is, there is a Crab Brawler off to our right that you could add to your route. It does add the additional time of just getting a new Pokemon. It's definitely not optimal, but that would be our backup here on Beach. So, let's get into the routing and the scoring. For this level, I'm split on how to approach it. I think it is definitely possible, and the traditional way of going about it is doing the Shockok and the Finneon who's jumping, which is going to be what we're going to be scoring here now. But this is quite difficult. To get the timing, if you miss the Stunfisk or miss the Finneon, you put yourself in a big hole. I think there's definitely an idea here to just take the easier forward-facing Finneon and then have the full time to make sure that you get the good Machamp and the good Octillery. For that Stunfisk, that was 4,100 points. If you take it when it's closer, you can gain about 500 points. I would definitely make that decision if you're feeling really confident about your photos to potentially take an easier, quicker Stunfisk. Likewise with the Pikachu. Pikachu is a good backup to just improve the Pikachu if you're not confident about where you're at. That being said, there's a lot of information. I'll also put some more information below the video on what my current route is for this map, but best of luck in regards to all the water maps, especially with Reef and Beach. They can be quite finicky. They're not going to be our hardest maps, but they're definitely going to be ones that you can drop if you're not careful, and I hope this is helpful. Take care.